In terms of dialogue, I think it's mostly as good as the show. Characters talk like normal people, and I appreciate that. In particular, I enjoyed pretty much all the stuff with the boys, and when Pinkman was talking shit to Vacuum Man. In terms of cinematography, I think it's exactly on par with the show. This shot reminds me of the Secret Dungeon at 15, and the transition from Jesse driving to the video game is fantastic. Now let's talk about the plot. In terms of story, I don't think the movie is as good as Breaking Bad. I don't think it's good at all. My biggest problem with it is that the main antagonist feels like a random junkie who would have been killed in a heartbeat during Breaking Bad. He's not funny or intimidating, he's just some guy. It's a hard pill to swallow when the show and Better Call Saul have had some entertaining antagonists and anti-heroes. Gus, in my opinion, was the perfect villain because up until the point where he got, he felt unbeatable. He was always one step ahead and it took everything Walt had just to keep up with him. I realize I'm comparing a TV villain to a film villain, but it is possible to create a massive antagonistic force very quickly. And this guy ain't that. However, I do like this interaction because of the homoerotic undertones. The shootout initiated by Villain Man is also extremely random. There's an argument to be made that he did it because he was high on cocaine, but it still doesn't feel satisfying from a storytelling perspective. You could make it make sense if it had been teased in the earlier scene, which probably would have taken one line. He could ask Pinkman if he wanted to try his luck in a duel or say something like that, and I don't think it would be as weird when it came back up. We also watched Jesse pick up gun number 2 at his parents' house, so that robbed the shootout of any and all tension for me. If two people are talking and you know there's a bomb under the table, it's tense. If two people are talking and you know the bomb can be defused at any time, it's not tense. If Pinkman only had the 22 and found a clever way to kill the guy with it, that would have been awesome. I just see the second gun as an easy way out. It also could have helped if we would have established bad guy was a good shot, which we never do. My next issue is the flashbacks are too long. I like Todd singing and casually talking about murdering as much as anyone, but I want new things to happen. We already know what happens to Todd. I've seen a lot of praise for the scene in the desert showing how helpless and broken Jesse is, but there are exactly 1 million scenes in Breaking Bad that already show that. Quick aside, I thought I was being a superficial douchebag when I was looking at Todd through the bars and thought he got fat. I was very relieved when 4 out of every 10 comments were about his weight gain. It makes me wonder if every time he murders someone he ate over their corpse as a display of retarded power. The tarantula from Drew Sharp in his apartment is a nice touch and also shows that a lot of effort went into this Netflix television event. They just focused on the wrong things, which brings me to my next point. I have a conspiracy theory with no evidence that Vince wanted to maybe do like an hour-long special or one more episode, then Netflix convinced him to make it into a 2-hour-long movie. It would perfectly explain the overly long scenes and the lack of satisfying plot events. Another explanation could be that Vince likes these characters a little too much and made a whole movie just to revisit them. Or maybe Aaron Paul becoming a producer is to blame. There's really no way for us to know unless someone says something. The scene between him and Walt, while somewhat enjoyable, is ultimately unnecessary. This is the line people point to when they say the scene is necessary.
You're really lucky, you know, that you didn't have to wait your whole life to do something special.
They say it shows that Walt took a special sense of pride in their work much earlier than we previously thought, and the scene introduces new information. This sequence occurs during the same time frame as 4 Days Out, which is the 9th episode of the 2nd season. I would make the argument that the first time we see Walt taking pride in what they do is season 1, episode 6.
This is not meth.
After that, he goes to his car and melees the steering wheel, clearly excited about what he just did. If you don't agree with me about that scene, there's this interaction in season 2, episode 10.
Stay out of my territory.
And since we already had proof that Walt was hype about being Florida Man before the El Camino scene, it makes it pointless nostalgia bait. Just like some people point to that line having meaning, I point to this one.
You know what? Forget it. I don't have a larger point. I'm just making conversation.
That's the entire movie. It's unnecessary with a metric fuck ton of flashbacks, and Jesse ends at the same spot he ended before. When I watched Breaking Bad, I assumed he got away and everything would be fine. At the end of this movie, I assume he got away and everything will be fine. I'll grant that the context is different, but generally nothing has changed for better or for worse. The movie doesn't ruin Breaking Bad or even affect it at all. I've complained enough, so if I was directing the movie, here's how I would do it. The very beginning is the same. Regardless of my criticism for other parts of the film, the flashback with Mike is awesome and perfectly sets the tone. Jesse gets to Skinny's house, cleans himself up, everything is normal. They hang out for a bit with a very chill vibe, get the car off the street, and decide that Pinkman will lay low there. Jesse goes to sleep, wakes up in full PTSD mode. Badger and Pete try to calm him down, but he fires the gun anyway. Doesn't hit anyone, but neighbors report gunshot. Pinkman leaves while crying and apologizing for firing the gun. They make plans to meet at a fallback point if things go disastrously wrong. Pete gets taken in by the police and questioned by a sympathetic detective. Jesse goes to an apartment to get money and has extremely brief flashbacks to he and Todd's time together. Police officer questions Pinkman's parents, who are very shaken up. Jesse encounters jerks, don't pretend to be cops this time, just sneak in like Jesse did. Find money, not as much as they were expecting, but enough for Pinkman to leave. Jerks mention upcoming bank robbery because their boss wants to ramp up operations in the area. Jesse says no, then gets turned down by Vacuum Man. Detective goes to the hospital and asks about Lydia. Pinkman exhausts all other options and agrees to take part in a robbery. I like the idea of a robbery scene because the other robbery scene in the series is mind-blowingly good, and I think it's funny that Jesse's getting roped into a full-blown heist for $1,800. However, if you think that's stupid, which would be completely understandable, we can do an alternate pathway where he needs the full $125,000. After that, jerks take him to their boss, who is a low-level Gus Fring type, and they set up a plan. I understand Villain Man is the boss in this version, but in my movie, he's more of a henchman. Officer questions Skylar White and Marie Schrader about Jesse. Robbery takes place, goes disastrously wrong, shootout with police. Jesse has PTSD flashbacks. Officer tries to reason with Pinkman, says he only wants to help him, yada yada yada. Jesse and jerks that are left alive are falling out. Jesse gets separated from money, but is forced to leave. Detective angrily confronts Skinny Pete and Badger at their house. He tells them that Jesse is a danger to himself and others, just wants information from him, plans to cut deal. They say fuck off. Officer shows them video of Pinkman's parents' interrogation and reiterates wants to help Jesse. Skinny doesn't budge, but Badger looks conflicted for a few seconds, then we cut away. Pinkman goes to fallback point, walks in, and there's no one there. Tracks down jerks to talk about money. Detective goes back to try to talk to Lydia again. She has unfortunately passed away. Detective seems upset by this. Jesse arrives at Jerk's hideout. All seems good. Pinkman gets the money, but at the last second there's an argument. Shootout. Jesse is hurt, forced to stay there for a few minutes and nurse a wound, finally gets to leave, gets to Vacuum Man's place, starts to walk into the store, and is arrested by the police officer who saw him leave the shootout. They make pleasant conversation, abruptly pulls off road and starts saying suspicious things, reveals that he's working with Lydia's contact that was brought up in season 5.
What do you know about the Czech Republic?
Blames Jesse for everything going to shit. They go to strange building. It's pitch black. Lights turn on, and it's a meth lab. Says he wants Jesse to cook for him and he will sell to Czech people. Jesse fakes compliance, waits for a perfect moment, then attacks him. They wrestle with gun and it goes off. Pinkman is hit by a bullet. Jesse Pinkman dies. I know some people will hate this because they like Jesse. I like him as well. That's why I think him dying would be so effective. And there are already fake police in the movie, so I don't think it's a huge stretch. One last thing, I see people say you should view this as 2 more episodes of Breaking Bad rather than a film, and I think that's horseshit. It was supposed to be a satisfying film with a fitting antagonist, and instead we got this.
Oh, God! It's gotta be... Oh, there's gotta be a million here.
I'm gonna go watch season 4 again because that shit is great, and I'll see you on the next one.
A guy opens his door and gets shot, and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.